In this video, I'm going to show you how you can find correlated and non-correlated stocks in Microsoft Excel. This can be important if you want to diversify your portfolio and ensure that you aren't taking on too much risk, because with correlated stocks, they move in the same direction. So if you're buying more stocks that are just correlated, you're not really diversifying and reducing risk. Ideally, you want to consider stocks with a negative correlation, which means they tend to go in the opposite direction, or that have no correlation and basically just go in their own direction irrespective of a certain stock. Like, let's say you wanted to know which stocks are negatively correlated to Apple or that have a zero correlation to Apple. With a correlation calculation in Excel, you can easily do that. So to get started, I'm going to show you how we can pull in the stock prices for all these tickers. These tickers are from the NASDAQ 100, and then run a correlation and then see which combinations of stocks are correlated and not correlated to one another. So to start with, I'm going to use the stock history function in Excel to pull in the historical stock price for each one of these tickers. So the first argument is stock. For the start date, I'm going to use the today function to bring in today's value and go back 365 days. Now you could potentially go back further, because with the correlation, it depends on how long of a pattern you want to look back. Are you wanting to look back just the past year or perhaps multiple years? You can increase this number. But in this example, I'm just looking at the past year, and the end date being, again, today's date or the most recent closing date. And that returns a list with the date and the close. But I don't want both of these. I am just interested in the closing values. So here I'm going to add the drop function before this, and I'm going to drop the first row, which contains the headers, and the first column, which contains the dates, because I'm just interested in what these stock prices were over the past year. Now that I've got this, I'm going to drag this all the way across to the end here. And this is going to fill in the rest of the ticker symbols. And just like that, I've got a huge data set now that I can work with to calculate the correlations. So how do we actually calculate the correlations here in an easy way? So if you go to the data tab, there's an option here under analysis for data analysis. If I click on this, and if you don't see this, you just may need to go to the add-ons and make sure you've got this added. But if you go to data analysis, there's an option here for correlation. I'm going to click on OK, and it's going to allow me to specify now an input range. So in this case, I'm going to select all of these columns here from A through to CW, and make sure that I've selected columns because they're grouped by columns, and checked off the option that says labels that are in the first row. And I'm going to select new worksheet because I want it in a new worksheet, so it's a lot cleaner, because obviously this is a huge data set. And now I'm going to click on OK. And now Excel is going to go to work calculating all these different correlations. And then at the end, I'll have a correlation matrix showing me the different correlations between all of these stocks. So here is the output. This took a few minutes to run, but as you can see now, I've got a large correlation matrix for each and every single one of these tickers. And we can now see what the correlations are between these different stocks. Now, obviously, there's a lot of numbers in here. So one thing you can do to make this analysis a bit easier is by selecting these values in this correlation matrix and using some conditional formatting. So I've selected those values here. On the Home tab, I'm going to go to conditional formatting, and under color scales, I'm going to select this color scale where I've got green, white, and red. And so I can easily see now the values in green show a high correlation. Obviously, the ones is going to be the stock against itself, so it's just going to be a perfect one. But the ones that are red are the ones that are going to pay attention to me, because these are ones that are negatively correlated and that have been going in the opposite direction of Apple over the past year, in this case Airbnb, Adobe. So I can see that Apple and Adobe, for example, have a negative correlation over the past year. Now, this could be more reflective of the fact that Adobe's been struggling, as opposed to this being a good way to diversify. But nonetheless, it does show you there's been a negative correlation. What may be most effective, however, is focusing on the whiter values, which are closer to zero, where the correlation is almost zero. So a good example here, if I owned Apple stock and I look at which ones have a correlation close to zero. So I look at this one, Costco. 2.6%. So an extremely low correlation. And here's what that looks like on a chart. So this is over the past year. So we can see Apple stock has risen significantly, whereas Costco has been almost flat. So for an investor who owns Apple stock, they might consider Costco as a good way to diversify just because, it's has that close to zero correlation, which implies that it could be a good way to, add that to your portfolio where you're not adding any risk. Now let's look at another popular stock. Let's look at Amazon. Let's see which ones it has a close to zero correlation. So in this case, AppLovin, APP has 0.11, but let's see if we can get any lower. We got 0.16, 0.19, 0.17, negative 0.06. So this is a closely negative correlation. So HON, let's take a look at that ticker against Amazon. So these are the price movements of Honeywell International, HON, and Amazon over the past year. So there is a bit of a hint of a negative correlation, but overall not a strong one in either direction, as its gains over the past year have been pretty minimal, and the stock's been fairly flat. Now let's look at one more example. Let's look at Alphabet, which has a ticker symbol of GOOG and GOGL. So if we look at which ones have a close to zero correlation, there's not a lot of ones that are near zero. The one closest to it on the NASDAQ 100 that has a near zero is this one, 0.012. So let's take a look at what that relates to. That is PEP. So that would be the ticker symbol for PepsiCo. So these are stocks that are in completely different industries. So it wouldn't be surprising that there's no correlation between them. PepsiCo is down 4%. Alphabet obviously doing exceptionally well, almost up 80%. But that's the kind of analysis that you can do when looking at correlations to see which stocks might be good options as a way of risk reduction. You could consider the ones that have negative correlations, but again, the danger there is you may just be looking at a business that isn't doing all that well of late. So it's important to also consider the context there. But by doing this correlation, it's now possible to look at ways to reduce risk, because the one thing you definitely want to avoid, especially if you want to diversify, is not, buy Apple stock and let's say also ASML stock, which have been highly correlated over the past year, or Cisco, CSCO, right? Those are examples of stocks, or Apple and Google, for example, 85% correlation, 86 almost percent correlation. So those are two highly correlated stocks. So just by buying both of them, you're not really reducing your risks. So by looking at these correlations, you get a good idea of the types of stocks you may want to consider based on your current holdings as to what to invest in to reduce your overall portfolio's risks. So that's a wrap for this video. If you did like it, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more like it. Thanks for watching.